All right, the Houston Texans travel to the Meadowlands to play the New York Jets. Who you got, Darren?
I'm going with the Houston Texans. Look, I think they bounced back from that loss at home last week to a Colts team. This defense still can play at a high level. I think they go up to the Northeast, and even though it's going to be cold, they find a way to stop Darnold in that offense.
I mean, this is the only way they're going to show that they deserve to be in the conversation with those elite teams. You bounce back after tough losses. Yes, it was a divisional foe. You thought that you were going to even get your 10th win in a row. You almost got to push the reset button. I think the Texans will push that reset button, leaning on Deshaun Watson in that offense, putting on some points. We're both on the Texans here. Okay, it's the Cleveland Browns traveling to Mile High to play the Denver Broncos. You've been a fan of Baker Mayfield lately. They've been getting you some victories. What are you thinking this week?
I'm going with the Cleveland Browns all over again. And it's because of what I'm seeing with Denver. Denver has not played that well. They didn't play well last week against San Francisco. They got some issues defensively. Lose Chris Harris for the season. That's a huge loss. Emmanuel Sanders on the other side, on the opposite side of the ball. And the Cleveland Browns, this team is playing with confidence. They're playing hard. Baker Mayfield is as tough as nails, and I think they have a mental toughness about them right now.
Okay, I'm going to take the Broncos, and I'm going to tell you why. Because a rookie quarterback going through a rookie season, and there are certain hurdles he's got to cross. You know, the first time you went on the road, the first time, you beat a divisional, all this stuff. And for me, it's the first time you win in Mile High.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to do, and I know the Broncos, they're limping out there, but they've got a good running game still. I think the defense still has enough guys to make good plays. Plays on the football, get them some possessions offensively. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. So we got the Cleveland Browns. I'm taking the Denver Broncos in Mile High. All right, we got a couple teams trying to finish strong here in the Arizona Cardinals. They're traveling to Atlanta to play the Falcons. Darren, who you taking?
You know, I want to believe in the Arizona Cardinals. They seem like they play hard week in and week out, but at home in Atlanta, the Falcons offense shows up this week. They've been sputtering. It's hard to watch this Falcons. As talented as a football team this Falcons team is, it's hard to watch them offensively, but they'll find a way to put up enough points to win this game.
Yeah, you just expected so much more from this team. It's been, somewhat nice to watch Rosen and his progression as a quarterback. I'm going to take the Falcons also. I mean, I like them at home. Them being at home, I think, will be the factor. But Cardinals, Falcons, not a lot on the line with this game, but we're both going to take the Falcons. All right, the Detroit Lions are traveling to Orchard Park to play the Buffalo Bills. Getting out of that dome, going to play outside in Buffalo. Who you taking here, Dean?
Last week you took Detroit to go to Arizona and win that game.
Yeah,
I learned a little something about it. But I'm still taking the Buffalo Bills this week. I think, I look at this Buffalo Bills team with Josh Allen, the creativity that they have, the ability to use Josh Allen's legs to become a weapon at the same time. At home, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions again. I'm going to try to get me another victory here. And I see just a little bit of improvement week to week based on the way Matt Patricia is coaching his team and sort of how, September was the preseason New England Patriot-esque when he was there. Get them playing their best in December. I think they're starting to believe. And the one thing I think they're going to take away defensively is Allen and his legs. They do that, make him be a quarterback. Maybe they get the win. We'll see if I'm right. Bills, Lions. We'll see what happens. Oh, how the tables have turned. The Green Bay Packers go to the Chicago Bears. The Bears now are on the top seat of that division. Darren, the Packers, they need to win bad.
Yeah, but the Bears, they're flying high after winning that game at home against the Rams. And I'm going to pick the Bears. I'm going to pick the Bears based off of this. There's a swagger and a confidence about this young group right now, especially in the secondary with Kyle Fuller, Prince and Mukamura on the outside. They feel like they can match up with anyone, take the ball away. We all know what they can do as far as a pass rush on that defensive side of the ball. I think the Bears at home with that defense, they find a way to win. Yeah,
I agree with you. I'm going to take the Bears. I think that this defense of the Bears has a potential to be a great group. I'll say a potential because great defenses are rare in this day and age. They have the potential to be one, and I think they remember. They remember Aaron Rodgers and all the times in the past that they've got the better of him, and even what he said after early in the year, all we got to do is run the table, beat them, and then finish by beating the Bears in Soldier Field. So I don't think that happens. We are both bearing down. Hey, John Gruden and the Oakland Raiders got a huge win versus the Steelers last week. They're now playing the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to keep it going, aren't they?
No, they're not. They won that game at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to get on the road. And I know this team, hey, John Gruden has his team playing extremely hard right now. And they have been, you know, they played a good game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They go on the road this week to Cincinnati. Joe Mixon becomes a factor with the Cincinnati Bengals this week. I think they focus on the running game and they get this win.
I'm going to go with the Raiders. I'm going to go with momentum. I'm going to go with Gruden sort of pumping the Kool-Aid out there, and let's go get a road win. And also Jared Cook, that tight end who had a big day against the Steelers. I think that he's having a very solid year. He'll continue that. So this is a game that doesn't have a lot on the line. But still, you like the Bengals.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Raiders. We'll see what happens out there this Sunday. All right, Darren, your Dallas Cowboys are traveling to Indy. They play the Colts. Big game. Cowboys got to keep this thing going. They're on the top of the division, sitting pretty. Got everything where they want it. They continue to get these wins?
I think they continue to get this win, and I don't think the Colts are going to surprise them. And they've been watching from afar, and we've all been seeing what the Colts are capable of doing. And they just went to the Houston Texans and beat a team that the Cowboys lost to earlier in the season. So it's not going to be a surprise to the Cowboys. They'll show up. They'll play hard. Amari Cooper has become a factor. We've watched that. But Zeke, this team will run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott again. They'll find a way to squeak out a win in Indy.
You know, there are a certain number of defenses just out the top of my head. The Cowboys, the Bears, the Ravens that I really have a lot of faith in. This Cowboy defense with Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch at linebacker, I'm a huge fan of those two guys. But why? Why do I think it's coming to an end? It's going to be a week where they lose focus, and Jason Garrett will not keep them focused. Something's going to happen to where they just slip up. I think it's going to be this week. I'm going to take the Colts in this one. I like the Cowboys. Listen, they got a solid defense. Something's just telling me they got to show me a little bit more consistency. So Cowboys, Colts, that's how I picked, people. Yeah, these Miami Dolphins, they got it done last week against my New England Patriots. What a miracle in Miami that was, but they deserved it. They played hard. They believed in each other. And now they go to Minneapolis. A super tough place to play. Who you got?
I think the Dolphins are trying to rally around this stuff. This locker room has gotten better. Their personalities are better in that locker room, but they're going to go into Minnesota, in which a team that just lost to the Seattle Seahawks, who got embarrassed, physically got embarrassed by the Seattle Seahawks. Zimmer will have this team, this Minnesota Vikings defense, ready to play against Tannehill and that group. I think at home, Minnesota finds a way to win this.
Yeah, and that's me writing my notes right here. My reason for me taking the Minnesota Vikings, Zimmer. Zimmer, he's going to get them right. He had an offensive coordinator who didn't do what he wanted him to do. You're not going to run the ball, you're going to get out of here, because I'm preaching running the football to my team, and you don't want to follow my plan. This is what I got to do. He's reestablished himself in that team. Dalvin Cook.
Yes, he'll be a factor.
He may get 110 carries. I don't know, but they're going to establish that.
He can handle it.
Yes, he will. We're both taking Minnesota at home to win this one. All right, Mike Vrabel's Tennessee Titans are traveling to play New York. Derrick Henry's still running and stiff-arming people as we speak. Yeah. Who are you picking on this one?
I'm going to, Tennessee has a lot to lose this week. They got to win this football game. They're trying to stay in the race, in the wild card race. They got a lot to prove this week to try to keep on moving on with these wins, play that physical style of offense and defense. I don't know if New York, the Giants, are going to be able to match their intensity. I know they did last week. They played against the Washington Redskins team last week. And congratulations to the New York Giants. You guys played hard. But the Tennessee Titans rolling into town, they're going to be playing at a higher level.
I guess Odell Beckham's got a quad, and I know the type of athlete he is. I mean, as explosive as he is, if there's just something off like that, that could prevent him from playing. I mean, I love Saquon Barkley and the running back that he is, but I like the young linebacker for the Tennessee Titans, Rashaan Evans. He's come on in the last month, played some great football, okay? I am going to take the Tennessee Titans also, so Darren and I both are taking the Tennessee Titans to win this one. All right, the Washington Redskins travel to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. Darren, who you want in this one?
I'm going with the Jags in this game. There's so many injuries that the Redskins have to try to overcome. Josh Johnson will be the starting quarterback this week. He's a young guy, hasn't thrown many passes, and he's still going up against a very, very talented Jags team. I think they're going to smell blood in the water, and they're going to want to play.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Are they going to decide to play? But you're playing against a Washington Redskin team that's gone through quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after offensive line. Just a tough formula for them. disappointing to where they were to where they are right now. And then this is sort of the disappointment bowl in terms of the Jacksonville Jaguars and what they haven't done. But the least disappointing right now, I'll take the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe Fournette wakes up a little bit and he has a good game. So we're both on the Jags. All right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Baltimore. Lamar Jackson in that offense, solid defense.
Yeah.
Who you got in this one?
Look, I like the Ravens and what they're doing right now. This team could easily be 4-0 right now. You know, that without Patrick Mahomes putting on the cape last week.
Oh, you mean with Lamar? Yeah.
You know, Patrick Mahomes has to make a big play on fourth down in order for the Chiefs to win that game. I like the Baltimore Ravens. I like their attitude. I like the way they approach every game. Defensively, you know what you're getting. T-Sizzle still coming off the edge. Weddle still disguising coverages and coming off the edge as well. I think the Baltimore Ravens have something to play for this week.
Yeah, I agree. This is the whole thing about somebody that has something to play for and somebody that doesn't. I mean, they're the disguise that they are defensively. Lamar Jackson, I mean, he's turning me over in terms of like who he is as a quarterback. I've seen him make a couple nice throws off of play action over the middle of the field. If creatively they keep calling these plays this way and he's able to have success running the football, I mean, why not? I mean, you got to play true complementary football, but it's possible and it's done before.
Exactly.
The Ravens are a solid football team. Darren and I both like them to win. All right, after a big Monday night win versus the Vikings at home, the Seahawks take themselves on the road, go to San Francisco and play the Niners.
I like Seattle. I just think the way that they've played right now, Bobby Wagner's had an unbelievable season. You see not only on the field, but as a leader in this locker room, a bunch of young guys in this locker, no-name guys. But Pete Carroll has his team understanding who they are. They know who they are with their identity. They want to run the football. They want to hand the ball off to their big running backs and play smash mouth football. I like Seattle to go down to San Fran and win this one.
I agree with you. I'm going to take the Seahawks. One of those running backs you're talking about is Chris Carson and the way that he's been playing and how they leaned on him last week versus a solid Minnesota Viking defense. I mean, the formula's there for Seattle. They like to run it. They like to be physical. They like to put the ball in Russell Wilson's hand and let him run around also. So it's been working for them. They're going to go to San Francisco and get that win. Darren and I both think that's going to happen. All right, my New England Patriots are trying to bounce back from a devastating loss to the Dolphins in South Beach. 4:25 game. Is that a 4:25 game? It is a 4:25 game. They're going to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who you liking in this one?
I like the Patriots in this game, and until the Pittsburgh Steelers can find a way to start making adjustments at halftime, I'm going to forever pick the New England Patriots. And I think that's been the Achilles heel for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Every time they see this team in the Patriots, they can't adjust. They can't make adjustments. Julian Edelman, again, will have a field day in the short passing game. The Patriots win this one.
The Patriots have always had success in Pittsburgh. I think the whole week, the theme of the week has been, can they move on? And moving on one-on-one, sometimes coaches have to take accountability. Brian Flores, the makeshift defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, did that in front of the players this week. He said, fellas, that's on us. We'll get better. And so the players say, all right, let's go. I think they go to Pittsburgh. They get the win. Darren and I, big game of the week. We're both on the Patriots. All right, we got the Sunday night game. The Nick Foles-led Philadelphia Eagles are going to play the Los Angeles Rams. Carson Wentz is out with that back injury. What do you think on that?
That says a lot. Carson Wentz being banged up and not being able to play, that's going to mean a lot for that Philadelphia Eagles team, who's beat up. No running game. The running backs are all beat up at the same time. Darren Sproles comes back, and that'll be exciting. But the Rams, coming off a big loss in Chicago, find a way to get their legs back underneath them. The play-action game, Todd Gurley becomes a factor. He got held down last week. He becomes a big factor this weekend. The Rams find a way to win it.
And that's how they're going to get back on track.
Yeah.
To me, I agree with you. It's Todd Gurley. It's got to be Todd Gurley. You got to give it to him on the outside zone. You got to give it to him on the fake outside zone, throwback, screen pass, all of that stuff. As you can tell, when Jared Goff was having a problem, the Bears took away Todd Gurley. So he's going to get going. They're going to get the win.
Yep.
Sorry, Philly fans. We're both on the Rams. All right, we're talking Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints play the Carolina Panthers in Carolina, Darren. Big game here.
Huge game. And, you know, the Saints showed me so much in last week's game. I mean, after halftime, this team exploded. Yeah. And, you know, they could have easily just tucked it in and said, hey, this is another loss. We lost to the Cowboys. Now we're losing to the Bucs again. They didn't. They rallied back. They found a way to pull themselves up. Sean Payton, hey, man, kudos to what you do in the locker room as far as making adjustments. They made those adjustments. Michael Thomas, big game this week.
When you think Michael Thomas and the Saint offense is going to have a big game, I like the Saint defense and how big those linebackers are going to have to step up in terms of Demario Davis and Anzalone against a Christian McCaffrey, Cam Newton type of backfield running attack. I think they get it done. This Saints front seven is physical too. They can stop that run. So in this game, Panthers, we're going to take the Saints, Darren and I.